Nostalgia. The series of vintage cars is one of the earliest and most appreciated series of paintings by Dipto Narayan Chattopadhyay. Vintage cars are his passion. Vintage cars are not a lifeless article but a live form to him, and he considers these cars as separate entity that are epitomized and personified in numerous situations and environment. According to Dipto Narayan Chattopadhyay, these cars are not only nostalgic but also symbolic of the journey of life. In this particular series, the vintage car remains one and the same, whereas the backdrop keeps changing. This is a symbolism to indicate various stages, situations, experiences, circumstances that a person faces during his life. The paintings display a mysterious environment where different moods are pointed. Some of his cars are in peaceful presentation, but in many of his presentations, the cars are in destructive disposition, coming out from the clutches of darkness and strongholds. This is very much comparable to human life and the ups and downs which one faces in life. Affection for vintage cars was to such an extent that Dipto bought a vintage car in Kolkata in 1993. Dipto Narayan Chattopadhyay is a name synonymous with a perfect blend of abstract realism. He has been experimenting since childhood to create a distinctive technique that he calls Dipto's technique. This technique with 3D effect in its genuine form can be defined as creativity at its best.
Actually, what happened was this gallery that is run by my friend Rita Puhar. So whenever she has an exhibition of any painting, she gives me a ring because she knows I'm interested in looking at good paintings, and maybe I'm a frustrated artist. I never really got down to doing it, but I enjoy looking at paintings. So she told me, why don't you come along, and Dipto is doing it. I mean, he's having his art exhibition. So I went along, and with no intentions of buying anything as such, because at my stage in life, all the paintings that I want are already on the wall. And if I'm going to buy something, then I must find some space. But when I looked at those paintings, what really attracted me to them, they were very unique. They were different. The medium that he used, or whatever he did was different from what the others were doing. It's not a flat painting. So when I looked at this classic dilapidated car, it reminded me of myself. I said, I am getting to that stage now, and well, I classify myself as classic. And so I said, and as you grow older, you do get dilapidated. And so I said, fine, now this is what I am. So this is my portrait. So I quickly bought this painting, and I said, enough. So I had to throw out something from there to put Dipto there. And every time I look at it, I said, fine, I must be looking quite nice because this car looks very nice. So that's how I got Dipto's painting. And everybody who comes here sort of wonders, it's so different. The technique is so different. The colors are so different. So it is, and as I said, I enjoy looking at these paintings, and I never tire of it. I never really tire. And all in my house here is somebody or the other who's done something. And Rita very kindly, whenever she has any kind of an art show, she invites me. So I have a look, and I said, no, I have no place. I don't know where I'm going to put anything. But if something draws me to it, which this classic car did, I just couldn't resist it. I said, I just have to get it. And well, I wish Dipto all the best. And I knew he would travel. He would really come up. And I think my thought and my predictions are coming true. I believe he's doing this was about 8-9 years ago. I've had it for a long time. And I knew, well, this person who's done this is going to go places. It's just that. It's just a feeling. And it's something that I really enjoy looking at paintings. It just gives me a lot of pleasure and a lot of satisfaction. And I'm glad I have Dipto with me here.
His paintings open up a whole new spectrum of colors and passion. In the words of Sameer Dasgupta, an eminent art critic, Chattopadhyay's creations may be defined as justifying the symbolic relationship between imaginary and craft on one hand and fusion of sculptural concepts on the other. His interplay of colors and timeless metallic sheen are stunningly presented on canvas. There is a social context to art, and artists are generally sensitive to the likes and dislikes of society. Dipto blends his observations with his artistic sensibilities in reflection of today's society. In Dipto's words, about creating something new, I hardly get fatigued.